What is up, my love? Thank you so much for tuning back into another video. I hope you're having an amazing Monday so far and that you've had an amazing weekend and that the trend continues on into a beautiful rest of the week. Without further ado, let's head into today's topic. So today I want to talk about learning to apologize. I know, that's a hard subject for some people. I'm one of them, and I'm talking about this because I recently had a moment with my lovely boyfriend where I had a hard time apologizing. And I'm talking about it publicly and openly because I would like to share the struggle, because I know the struggle is real with apologizing, and let you in on my process and why it's important to apologize. I won't get into all of the details, but basically there was a moment between my boyfriend and I where I was in the wrong. I had a really hard time recognizing that and owning up to my mistake or my lack of awareness during one of our conversations, and it hurt his feelings. In the moment, I noticed there was a lot of pride, a lot of ego, because I didn't want to admit that I was wrong. I didn't want to admit that I had hurt him, whether it be intentional or not, and it wasn't intentional, by the way. Because for me, at least, when I think about apologizing, it feels like I have to grovel towards the person because I had made a mistake. But I'm starting to see that it doesn't need to be this big, huge thing where the person's gonna hate me forever because I made a mistake. Because we are human, we make mistakes, we are not perfect, and the important thing is not that we don't make mistakes, but it's that we own up to them and that we recognize when we may have been operating out of ego, when we could be doing better, when there's something we could improve upon, and that we recognize that that relationship is way more important than maintaining our ego. So it took me a little bit of time, but eventually I got around to apologizing, and it led to me feeling more connected with him rather than standing my ground and trying to remain all tall and mighty when that was actually not the case on the inside. I still personally have this idea that apologizing equals being bad or being wrong. Like I am in the position where I owe somebody something, or they're never going to forgive me, or they're going to think of me as a certain way now because I made a mistake. But really, learning to apologize is a humbling thing. It's an awareness thing. It's oh, I recognize that I was in the wrong here, or I made a mistake, and I would like to make it up to you by recognizing those mistakes and letting you know that I am aware of what I did. It's an opportunity for the person that's apologizing to further connect with the other person that they may have hurt and to build a stronger bond between those two people. But I know when you're in it, it doesn't feel as rainbows and butterflies as my explanation does right now. But I know when you're in it and you're feeling all the feels, it doesn't feel like a good thing. Like something you're excited about, like you're not really thinking about how there are benefits to apologizing, because it's also hard for the person who hurt the other person to accept that that thing happened. But in moments like these, there's a lot of room for growth. There's a lot of room for learning. When we make mistakes, we get to learn about ourselves and we get to learn about the other person. If you never made mistakes, then you would never really learn, because you wouldn't know what is okay, what is not okay, where the boundaries are, the lines are, and you really only get to figure those things out by testing the boundaries a little bit, by trying things out, by seeing how it works, how the other person feels, how you feel in the moment, and only after you've tried it and it either works or doesn't, then you can move forward from there. From the outside, learning to apologize may not seem like a very important thing or like a very tough skill, but it's actually very valuable. It shows awareness, it shows humility, it shows bravery, even if it may not feel like it in the moment. But think about it. You are openly telling somebody else that you admit that you know that what you did was wrong, and you're saying it to their face. Like, how brave is that? Super brave. It's also an opportunity for you to connect with your human nature and to recognize that, hey, I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect, we all make mistakes, and that's okay. And the apology is just the icing on the cake, cherry on top, that helps solidify the lesson and further connect you with another person. So I know it may be hard in the moment, but maybe try it sometime. I know I felt a little bit awkward apologizing because I didn't want to admit that I hurt someone, but after I did, I recognized that that apology wasn't about me, it was for the other person. That although I didn't mean to do that and that wasn't my intent, my actions have consequences, both good and bad. And sometimes I have to own up to those consequences. And that is a part of being a responsible, independent human, knowing that our actions have consequences and owning up to them. So I hope this gave you something to think about today. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday and a great rest of your week. And until next time, bye.